father left his home in a little village of Bušinovac in Slovenia, Yugoslavia. And like so many young men at that time, went to Germany to seek work. He got a job as an electrician's apprentice, and in his own words, it was the best job in the world. He was responsible for installing telephone systems in offices and factories around Munich. This was leading-edge technology in the 1940s. Towards the end of World War II, when the Allies started bombing the wartime factories, hidden beneath the canopy of the Bavarian forest, my father was imprisoned and sent to the concentration camp Dachau. His crime, the reason for imprisonment, was never revealed to him. Sadly, it remained a mystery to him to the end of his life. On April 29, 1945, a day that my father would never forget, the camp was liberated by the American Army, and not a day too soon for a young man of 20, sick with typhus fever, weighing less than 45 kilos, and dangerously close to starvation. After the war, like many former prisoners, he made his way back home to his country of origin. With the knowledge and experience he gained in his trade, he helped to wire his little village with electricity. He told us the story of his nearly 100-year-old grandmother and how she got up on a stool to blow out this new bulb-shaped candle in their house. Like all young men at a certain age, he served in the Yugoslav army for 3 years, and then he turned his attention to the next chapter of his life, marriage and family. Our father had his eye on a lovely rose in the neighboring town of Suhor, and this rose had her eye on him. But he was just a village boy from a poor and humble home, and she was a town girl from a much better economic status. Our paternal grandmother had misgivings and told her son, town folk should marry town folk, and farmers, kmeti, should marry kmeti. But nothing would deter my father. He was marrying up. His choice of soulmate proved to be a good one. 2 weeks ago, our father and his beautiful Rose celebrated 63 years of marriage. In case you are wondering why our family members are wearing splashes of red today, it is to honor our father who loved the color red. Roses and carnations always had to be red. Ruže more biti rdeče, ja otec veram rekel. In mi vsi smo hoteli in še hočemo biti njegove rože. My parents quickly started a family with the addition of 2 sons and a daughter, all born within the first 4 years of marriage. Having experienced an expanded, more sophisticated view of the world, our father dreamed of leaving his small village once again to seek better opportunities for his family. He emigrated to Canada in 1957, worked hard, saved his money, and even borrowed some to bring his wife and 3 young children here within a year. A year after that, he also brought his mother to live with us. Our father's first job in Canada was at the Siemens company, where he was hired on the spot because of his fluency in the German language. He always liked to remind his family of the many languages he spoke. His children and grandchildren would laugh, because we knew how deficient his English was. But once in a while, we would be pleasantly surprised when we observed him conversing with native speakers of German, Polish, Italian, or Serbo-Croatian. Whatever his level of language proficiency, it was evident that he had a gift for communicating. second job was at Canada Packers, where he was a loyal and respected blue-collar worker until his retirement. Our father was the ultimate handyman who could fix anything. In the more than half a dozen houses that our family lived in over the years, he would do many of the repairs and renovations himself, including electrical, plumbing, drywall, painting, carpentry, tiling, flooring, you name it, he was not afraid to do it. In his garage workshop, he had tools, materials, and supplies for any kind of job. Every nail, screw, and bolt was nicely organized in its own drawer or container. Nothing was wasted, nothing was thrown away. Broken hardware was refurbished and sometimes reconfigured for entirely new purposes, such as the many small motors that he salvaged and rigged up to grind, sharpen, drill, or rotate objects, like pachinko. Our father had a charming and endearing quality about him. He collected new friends like a magnet wherever he went. Within a few seconds of stepping into a new environment or among a group of strangers, he would be striking up a conversation, joking, and putting everyone at ease. As a father, he was very strict with my brothers and me. We grumbled a lot about the unreasonable restrictions and discipline he imposed on us, especially during our teenage years. We didn't appreciate it then, but we do now as parents ourselves. We have come to realize that his family was always his greatest treasure, and that his most important job was to be our protector. He was ferocious when it came to protecting his family. When my brother John was little and came home from the neighborhood park one day with a black eye, my father took his hand and walked back with him to the park, insisting that John point out the boy who gave him the shiner. John can fill you in on the details later. All I want to add is that those were different times back then. Our father was very supportive of his children, especially when it came to music. When my brothers were teenagers and formed their band, Veseli Vandrovski, my father would drive them to all their gigs. I really don't remember. On the way to Hamilton, one time, to perform on a television program, my father loaded up the car with all the instruments and sound equipment, including the drum set strapped on the roof of the car. And I don't remember there being a roof rack on our 1964 Chevy Impala. My brother Martin can fill you in on that story later. Our father instilled in his children a love of music. He was self-taught on the diatonic accordion, Freitonatzer, and was still playing it at home almost every day, up to just 3 months ago. Some of our most cherished memories will be the family musical gatherings on special holidays and celebrations in one of our homes or at Slovensky Park, where our Ata Stari Ata Dedek presided over the Pusic clan orchestra as the Capobanda,